So, hey guys, this is your health coach Rahul, and some interesting readings coming up in my 40-day raw meat challenge. So, instead of presenting you some pictures and write up, I thought I'll make a small video for you guys, which should come in quite handy and informative. So, these are my blood glucose response, today's blood glucose response. So, let's check it out what's happening over here. So I had my first meal at around 9:05 a.m. and after that I have been having some different variations of blood glucose. So you can see what I ate. It was 100 grams of raw red meat, 20 grams of blueberries, and 2 tablespoons of ghee. So when I started eating the meal, my blood glucose readings was 78, and then steadily it kept on rising for the next half an hour, and it went to 99 in 30 minutes. So this was post my meal, 30 minutes. My readings went from 78 to 99. So about 20 units of increase, steady rise in blood glucose levels post eating my first meal. Let's go to the next slide. You can see after 1 hour, my blood glucose readings, in fact, started dropping down. So the blood glucose went up, and now after an hour, it started coming down. But in many people, it doesn't come down, it stays up. So the reason you should understand is that if you are less insulin sensitive, if your insulin resistance is high, your blood glucose levels are going to stay high for a long period of time after eating food. And that's where you need to focus on improving your insulin sensitivity by doing various things, improving your internal health, metabolic health, digestion, liver health, gallbladder health, and exercising on a regular basis, increasing the muscle mass, etc., etc., etc. So let's go ahead. This is 90 minutes. At 90 minutes, my blood glucose levels dropped to 72, and they were in fact very close to the blood glucose levels where I started before eating. So it took about 1.5 hours for my blood glucose levels to reach, in fact, little lower than what I started when I had my first meal of the day. And this is when I decided to go for my workout. So once I started my workout, this is what happened. So today is day 20 of my raw meat diet, and after I started my workout, you can see there is a steady rise of blood glucose levels. So from 72, it went to about 91 and 92. So why is this happening? Because your body is now releasing the stored glycogen inside your skeletal muscles and your liver through the process called glucogenolysis. So this is what happens, and no one should be surprised if post-workout, if your blood glucose levels go up. And there's a reason for that, because your body is basically now using up the stored glycogen, breaking it down and utilizing as glucose, and that's where your blood glucose levels go up. You can see later in the workout, my blood glucose levels start dropping down, because now whatever glycogen was being converted in my blood glucose, the storage, it was getting over. The whatever stored glycogen which was being converted into blood glucose, the storage was becoming lesser and lesser. And what happens once you keep utilizing that stored glucose, once the glucose or the glycogen which is stored gets over, then your body starts basically looking for different sources of energy, and that's when the fatty acid breakdown happens, and then it gets broken down further and gets converted into ketones and fatty acids, and glycerol gets converted into glucose, and lactate also gets converted into glucose. So we have to understand these physiological pathways when we are exercising, and plan our workouts, strategize our workouts, strategize our meals accordingly. Again, considering each person's metabolic health is very important. This is my second meal post my workout, and you can see I again had 100 grams of raw meat, and this time I had chicken. I had about 40 grams of Indian berries and 2 tablespoons of ghee. So you can see now, post my workouts, my blood glucose levels were about 75 at about 2:22 p.m. And I started eating my second meal at about 2:05 p.m. And after that, you can see my blood glucose levels steadily rise after eating my second meal post my workout. From 75, it goes up to 102 in about, you could say, half an hour. Half an hour it took to raise up to 102. After 1 hour, you can see the blood glucose levels have now started dropping down. In fact, it is 14, 11, 15. So after 1 hour, my blood glucose levels in fact dropped down to 63, which is lowest in today's entire day. So very interesting reading. So it took 1 hour for my body to basically go up and down and come down to the lowest level, that's 63. But interestingly, after that, when I check my blood glucose levels now, in fact, I would do it when I'm recording. I will tell you what my blood glucose readings are. It is 75 right now, and it's 5:30 p.m. So 5:30 p.m. after my second meal. Second meal was for at about 2:05 p.m. So this is about 3.5 hours, and my blood glucose levels are now well maintained around between 70 and 80. So let's go to the next slide and check what's happening. The other thing very noticeable is that I also checked my blood glucose on two different meters. And I also checked in two different ways. So what was the finding? See, whenever you do a blood glucose reading on a CGM, the sensor measures your interstitial glucose levels. So it's the fluid, it's not the blood serum. So the sensor measures your interstitial glucose levels, which is the glucose found in the fluid between your cells. So the glucose levels which are detected by CGM are you can say a little stale or little late than what the blood glucose levels are present at that time in blood serum. So from blood serum, it takes a while to reach the fluids in your body, and that's where the CGM basically detects the blood glucose levels. So a lot of times, if you check your blood serum blood glucose levels at that time, there will be always a difference of 15 to 20 points, and your blood glucose levels will always be on the higher side than your CGM levels. So that is very important to understand over here. So you can see I have taken readings at 1:21 p.m. on CGM, that's 72 it is showing. And at the same time at 1:21 p.m. I took glucose strip, inserted in the same machine, and I have taken. So you can see it's written over there, controlled solution test. So it is showing 97. So about 15 to 20 points difference is always present between blood glucose serum levels and blood glucose, the interstitial fluid levels. So you need to understand this. I also took my blood ketones at 1:21 p.m. and they were 0.2. So that means I am not in ketosis. You got to be over 0.5 to be in ketosis. That is where your body is actually utilizing fatty acids, breaking them down and breaking them down into ketones, and your body is utilizing ketones. But because I have started eating fruits in my diet, my ketone levels have dropped down. Otherwise, my ketone levels are flying up. They are always above 0.5. In fact, in the beginning of my raw meat diet, my ketone levels had reached 4.5, which is actually deep ketosis, which the kind of numbers I've seen in prolonged or really long fasts. So going forward, post second meal, again, other variations. After 40 minutes, it was 90. After 60 minutes, it's 63. And after 120 minutes, it's 83. And right now we've seen after 3.5 hours, it was about 75. So there's a lot of variation that keeps happening in your body post eating. And these variations completely depend on your insulin sensitivity. So in each individual, it will be different. And in diabetics, this number does not go down a lot. It maintains at a very high level, and they have to take an assistance of either metformin or other diabetic drugs or exercise or doing something else or other herbs to get the blood glucose levels down, or fasting. So there are strategies to use to help diabetics to get the blood glucose down, and that's what we use in my genetic nutrition program. Let's go to the next slide. So what are the key learnings over here? How long the blood glucose levels will be elevated depends on each person's insulin sensitivity. Hence, how much carbs one can have needs to be assessed before prescribing carbs. I won't go into details over here. Read this, listen to this, and understand this. Skeletal muscles release stored glycogen, which converts to blood glucose via glycogenolysis during workouts. Hence, rise in blood glucose levels during workouts. Number three, blood glucose levels will drop during long workouts and trigger ketosis by fatty acid degradation. Number four, it is important to consider the role of lactate and fatty acid conversion capability of each individual for improving insulin sensitivity after carefully evaluating the total stress load on health. So these are few key learnings from so far from the 40-day raw meat challenge and whatever my experience has been so far in all the various experiments that I have done. And this is your health coach Rahul Patil signing off. This is what I offer. I offer solutions for diabetes, obesity, kids nutrition. You can call me on 9594297774 or WhatsApp me. Do like this video and share this video with all the fitness professionals, health professionals, or people who you think are interested in health, with your friends, with your family, who would find this interesting and useful information. So do share this video, do like this video, and thank you for being with me here and following me on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media. Thank you so much.